Hi, welcome to my channel, Tools, Tips, and Tales. Tools to transform, tips to empower, and tales to inspire. I'm Kim Saff, licensed clinical social worker. I have my doctorate in transpersonal psychology. I've been doing this for over 20 years, and this is me helping you transform your life. Loving it. All right, so I did a different tape on self-care. I talked about the trifecta, the baseline trifecta of eating, sleeping, and exercise. And now I want to talk a little bit differently about self-care. So I talk to my clients about self-care in a way about how am I showing up to self? Am I taking care of myself? Am I tending myself? Right? Typically, I ask clients, like, what's your relationship like with yourself? And they very rarely have an answer. It's not even something they've pondered. Our most primary relationship, the one we will have forever, is with ourselves. You know the relationship we tend to the least? Oh yeah, the relationship with ourselves. It doesn't add up, right? We're going to have it the longest and we tend it the least. Yikes. Right. So what I start talking to my folks about is showing up with care to self. i.e. self-care, right? Showing up with care to self. Most of my folks, when they start with me, they're judgmental, they're critical, they shame themselves, they blame themselves for everything. Ugh. They attack themselves, and they wonder why they're not feeling good in their skin. Well, because you're shaming, attacking, blaming, criticizing, judging yourself. I wouldn't feel good if you were doing that to me either. It matters. I can't even emphasize enough how much it matters how we're showing up to self. And what we're learning here in all these tools and tapes is how to show up to myself with empathy and concern and care and compassion and curiosity. Ooh! I want all of that goodness, please. Yes. Right. So showing up with understanding, empathy, concern, care, self-care. I care about you. You matter to me. I want to know what's going on in there. I want to make sense of it all. And who's doing all that talking? Oh, bam, that's my authentic side. And who's trying to make sense of what? I'm trying to make sense of my fears and insecurities. Yeah, that's all. I'm just showing up from my authentic side, trying to make sense of my fears and insecurities. Without judging them, attacking them, shaming them, blaming them, criticizing them. No, none of that. We're showing up with empathy, concern, care, curiosity. Yeah, so we're really starting to develop a different, new type of relationship with ourselves, self-care. You know, if you think about it, we typically tend our plants more than we tend ourselves. Make sure that plant gets watered. I trim its dead leaves. Make sure it has nice nutrients in its soil. Yet we're fueling our body with crap and not sleeping and not taking care of our mental and physical health. And yet we want to shine. All good to want to shine, and we're shining when we take care of ourselves and when we develop a relationship from self to self that shows I care about me. Self-care. So really starting to think about that relationship you have to yourself. You might witness your own process and start getting a sense, collect some data of how do I show up to myself? What is my relationship like with myself? Collect some data, raise your awareness, see where you're at, and then maybe start showing up to self with the same care and concern you give your houseplants, your neighbors, your friends, your kids, your partner. We typically are much more concerned and showing up with care and concern for others than over self. We can still give to others, gotta give to self if we want to shine. All right, so start thinking about that relationship with self, self-care, showing up to yourself with care and concern. Enjoy. Till next time.